Hey everybody, hope you guys are having a good day, good start of your day. So it is time for the installment of day 2 of painting with Mr. Wright. We are moving on to using color, which I think is really cool. It's an amazing thing to study, and you can really spend your whole life working with color and experimenting with color. So today the goal is to make a color wheel and to just get started with our understanding of how to mix colors, and that's it. All right, so first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna write our name on our sheet of paper. That's always the first thing we do, especially with painting. Okay, so I'm gonna start Mr. Wright. All right, let's take 5 seconds to write our names on our papers. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. Turn over your paper so you are ready to go. Beautiful fresh sheet of paper. Put the pencil away. Make sure that I have my paper towel. And this is my palette. This is just a paper plate, but you guys are going to have beautiful new palettes to work with. All right, so the first thing that we want to do is just take a little dot of each of the primary colors, okay, and put that on our piece of paper, because we're just going to make a color wheel and learn about the things that we just heard about in the video, okay? We're going to experiment with those things. So first thing I'm doing is I'm taking my red, and I'm just going to put that at the top of my paper. And I'm making a dot like in a circle form here, little red circle, you know, just a basic circular shape with red. Okay, I hope you guys can see it. I hope it's not too dark. Okay, that's red, right? I'm gonna wash out my brush. I don't want to mix the colors right now, so I want to make sure that my brush is nice and clean. Dried it off on my rag. Okay, now I'm going to take yellow, dipping my brush into it a lot. You can see that there's a good amount of paint on my whole brush, and I'm going to put that into on the paper on the side, and I'm sort of going to make a triangle. No, I'm making a circle with the yellow. Sorry, that's confusing. But you'll see that the way that I'm placing the colors in relationship to each other is going to be like a triangle. All right, so yellow. Now I'm going to wash it off, making sure I get all of that yellow paint off. Now I'm going to dry it off on my rag. Okay, now color number 3, the blue. Everybody loves blue. I love blue. So do you. That's my rap song. Okay. The blue circle. And now you can see that I made kind of a triangular shape between the colors. Okay. So now we're going to mix secondary colors. What we have here are the primary colors. We have red, yellow, and blue. Those are the primary colors. And you cannot mix those colors. What I mean is you can't mix any other color to create a red. You can't mix any other colors together to create a yellow. And you cannot mix any other colors together to create a blue. They have to come out of the tube. Now you can change them, but you can't make the original red. But you can make what's called secondary colors, and those are made by mixing 2 primaries together. Okay, so that's a secondary color. So since I already have blue on my brush, I'm going to go ahead and dip the blue into my brush into my blue, and I'm going to put a little bit onto my palette here. Actually, I'm going to put more than a little bit. I'm going to put a good amount. Okay, and then I'm going to wash off my brush, and then I'm going to take another primary color. I'm going to choose yellow. I'm going to put a good amount of yellow on my brush. You can see it's a good amount of yellow. And then I'm going to stick it right in the blue here, and I'm making a secondary color, which is green. Green can be mixed. You mix blue and yellow to make green, and that's why it's called a secondary color, because it's not a primary. It's not an original first color. It comes from mixing two different colors. It's a secondary color. Primary means the first, secondary means the second. Okay? So, here's my first secondary color, which is green. Washing off my brush. Yes, nice and clean. Dabbing off the extra water into my paper towel. Let's make orange. Now, here's the thing with orange. Because we're going to use red to make the orange, we have to be careful because red is a very strong color. So I'm actually going to use yellow first. I'm going to get a good amount of yellow on my brush, and I'm going to put that over here on my palette. I'm even going to take a little more and put some more yellow on my palette. I'm going to wash off my brush, wash the yellow off, dab it, and then I'm just going to take a little bit of red. Look at that, the tiniest little bit. Here. You can see I just put the tiniest little bit of red on my brush. Now let's see how that works, what kind of staining power that has. See, look at how quickly that turned that yellow into orange. Red is very strong. I like that orange. I'm going to stick with that. That's a really nice medium orange. So when you're mixing secondary colors, you want to mix it so that it's like, so that it looks like you have an equal amount of yellow and red. But I really emphasize that it looks like you have an equal amount of yellow and red. Obviously, we didn't put the same amount of yellow and red into our mixture. We had a bunch of yellow and just a dot of red. But it looks like it has an equal amount of yellow and red. Okay? So that's an important thing to remember. That when you're mixing secondaries, you want the secondary to look like it's balanced between the two primaries that you used. The two primaries in this case being yellow and red. Okay, so let's make our last secondary color, which I think we all know is purple. Purple is such a beautiful color. Sometimes people claim purple to be their favorite. Oh, I'm going to wash off my brush after using blue. And I'm going to, again, just take a little dab of red. Just a little dab. And put it into the blue to create my purple. And I'm going to take, well, no, you know what? I'm just going to put it down. Nice. That's a nice purple. That's a nice purple. Or violet, right? People say the word violet. Oftentimes in like color theory videos, you'll hear people say violet instead of purple. All right, so we have our color wheel at this point. We have red, blue, and yellow. Those are the three primaries. And we have green, orange, and purple, which are our three secondary colors. Let's make sure our brush is nice and washed off. And then the next thing we're going to do is mix one primary color with one secondary color to make a tertiary color. I know, it's kind of annoying and it's kind of technical, but bear with me. Once we do this, we're going to be able to use color in a very intelligent way. Okay, so let's take, let me see for a second, hold on. We are going to take blue, no, I'm going to take, let's see, blue and green to make a blue-green. So I'm putting blue on my palette and green, the green that I already mixed, and I'm going to make a bluish green. A bluish green, and let's put that right here. A little bit more blue. You can see me mixing it into the green that I've already mixed. And so now we have a bluish green. And this is called a tertiary color. tertiary. Tertiary means third. See how both of those words start with a T? Yes. All right, so now let's take a blue again, and let's mix that into the violet that we already have mixed. And we're going to get a blue violet, and I'm going to stick that right here. So it's a violet that has a little bit, that leans to the side of blue. A violet that leans to the side of blue. Now, I don't want to do all the tertiary colors because I want to keep moving forward with this lesson. And the tertiary colors are kind of, I don't know what, like you don't really need to know about that so much, so as strongly as the primaries and the secondaries. But I think you get the idea that you can mix a tertiary color by mixing a secondary color with a primary color. Okay, good enough. Now, let's talk about shades and tints. A shade is a color that's mixed with black. So let's make a shade. And to make a shade, I'm going to choose red and black. So first, I'm going to choose my black because I know how strong red is. So I'm going to start with the weaker color first, the color that has less tinting strength. And I'm going to put that on my palette. Wash off my brush, dab it, and I'm going to take a little bit of red again, and I'm going to mix that with my black. And I'm going to take a little bit more red, and I'm going to make a shade of red. So watch this. Now I've got a darker red. A darker red right there. Way darker. That's got a lot more dark value in it, doesn't it? Okay, now let's make a tint. A tint is any color that has white put into it. And I'm going to add white to blue because I like pale blue. So let's grab a little bit of blue. I'm going to put that on my palette right here. Okay, I'm going to wash off my brush. Washing off my brush, dabbing it. Now I'm going to take a little bit of white. Now I have my white, putting it into my blue. See everybody? The white in the blue. And I'm going to mix it around, and I'm going to make a tint with white and blue. Remember, a tint is any color with white mixed into it. A shade is any color with black mixed into it. So what we're doing here is we're creating a color chart that's very smart. This color chart has the primaries. It has the secondaries. It has even two tertiary colors. We have a blue-green and we have a blue-violet. And now we have a shade and a tint. Now, this is the last thing that I want you to know about because it's very important because it plays into the lesson that we're going to do next class. And we're going to talk now about warm and cool colors. Warm and cool colors. A warm color, like we saw in the video, is any color that makes us think about like a warm sunny day or heat or fire or warmth. So those are going to be our red, oranges, and yellows. Okay? Reds, oranges, and yellows. And our cool colors are colors that make us think about being cold, basically. Snow, overcast days, rainy days, you know, the rain, the ice, the snow, the cold. So those are all going to be your blue, green, and violet colors. So this side of the palette, or sorry, the color chart, is going to be cool colors, whereas this side is going to be warm colors. And one thing that's really cool about color, interesting about color, is that it expresses emotions and it expresses physical states of being, like being warm or being cold or being angry or being delighted, or being satisfied, or being cozy, or being uncomfortable, or being annoyed. Color can express all of those things. So that's it today for our color chart. Again, we have our primary colors, red, blue, and yellow. We have our secondary colors, orange, violet, and green. We have two tertiary colors, blue, green, and blue, violet. We have a shade of red, and we have a tint of blue. That's what I want you guys to have by the end of today. And next class, we're going to get into using these colors in a creative way. I hope you had fun. Okay, see you next time. Bye.